Hey there, CSS fans! Welcome to Sunday CSS, where I, Julia and create CSS art and animations. And today's episode is about 3D and trigonometric functions. Not an easy one, but at least beautiful. So grab the cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get started! Today I'll be drawing a polygonal pencil in 3D. First, let's understand what 3D in CSS means. For example, I have prepared a cube in advance. It has 6 faces and is fully prepared. 3D in CSS is a style of transformation. By default, the transform style property has a value of flat. This means we won't see any difference when changing the axis values. However, if we change the transform style to preserve 3D, it will work. But be careful, this property is not inherited. All elements and pseudo-elements work in 3D, but only if they are on the first level. Besides, pseudo-elements are not 3D. That's why I'll apply transform style preserve 3D to all elements. Another property related to 3D is perspective. Perspective is one of the transforms function, but that can be used separately. I prefer the separate transform property, because I animate it often and want to avoid included perspective every time I use it. By default, the perspective value is set to none. While you can define any value in any unit, let me show you how different values will affect our cube in motion. I'm okay with the none value, but I also like using values such as 10,000 pixels or 100,000 pixels. In this example, I use pseudo elements to save the number of DOM nodes, but in the future I won't do it because Safari has some issues with 3D transformation of pseudo elements. Let's move to our pencil. Let's start with the hexagon. First of all, we have to define the outer radius of this hexagon, and let's also define the inner radius of this hexagon in advance. And also we need these two functions to define the points of any regular polygon, for example, hexagon. I'm gonna create variables for all of these points of our hexagon.
Later.
To draw a polygon, it's easiest to use a clip path. To avoid masking all the folded elements, I'll draw a hexagon using a before pseudo element. The clip path has several functions: ellipse, circle, path, and polygon. For polygon, you can use the polygon function and indicate the x and y coordinates of each point separated by comma. The edges of the pencil are angled and they have a trapezoidal shape. Let's begin with this element. These blocks should align with the edges of the hexagon and therefore will be positioned at the same points as the hexagon corners. So we can assign the pencil's height, length, and angle of inclination to variables. But first we should set some variables for the inner and outer radii of the pencil's body.
Two very boring minutes later.
Now we have something like a flower. We can draw a trapezoid. For this, again, I will use clip path. The smaller side of the trapezoid is equal point big radius, and the bigger side of the trapezoid equals pen big radius. The core of this shape is always the same color, while the color of the pencil will vary. So I will use a box shadow to draw this core, and later we're gonna animate the color of the shape. The sides of this pencil body is simplest thing here because it's just a rectangle, and that's it. I create variables for almost everything because later I want to show you how we can dynamically change this pencil and you can create your own pencil. Next one is a ring around the pencil. The ring should be slightly wider than the pencil itself. In this example, all other elements will be polygons with 12 sides, so I'll create common styles for them. The principle and the formulas are the same. We just have to replace 6 with 12 and we'll have points for every point of this 12-side polygon.
Two very boring minutes later.
The facets are twisted rectangles located at the points of this polygon that I've already defined.
Two very boring minutes later.
The same thing with a smaller metal ring and eraser. I'm gonna try to reuse all the styles that I can. Well, okay, we have a pencil. And now it's time for animation. I will spin in a pencil. I also need to change the color of the edges. To avoid writing 6 different animations, I will create one and apply it with a delay to each other. And basically I'll create 4 animations, each for every color that we have for these edges. And basically we have 6 faces here, so every face should be recolored during our animation for equal time. So that's why I use here 16 and 22. And the last element is the shadow. Well, the pencil is now ready. Its appearance can be easily changed because of the mathematical functions and variables. I left the link on CodePen in the description below, so you can play with the parameters and create your own pencil. Like this episode, write a comment, subscribe to my channel, and see you soon. Bye!